Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Everybody's standing here at Citizens Bank Park. Sanchez to the belt.
Breaking ball, hit in the air, center field.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Christopher Sanchez, for the first time in the big leagues, has thrown a complete game shutout.
Harper looks at Arcia again as he goes around the second base.
And it's turned into the Bryce Harper game.
The game's tied. Castellanos in at third. Dusty is waving him home. Here's the relay to the plate. There'll be no throw. Phillies lead. Breaking ball blasted. Game is tied. Castellanos for the Phillies. And it's a brand new game. And the Phillies close out the National League East. They are the champions of 2024.
Alrighty, Chasers, you are going to notice tonight's episode, well, it's going to be a little stitched together. While Danny is cavorting below the Mason-Dixon line in America's taint, also known as Florida, we wanted to bring you all some delectable content. So last year when Danny and Kim went on their trip, we did a best of episode in episode 10, mind you. We were young back then. Last year. Anywhos, this time I'm going to be putting on an updated and brand new episode, but I'm not going to be doing the heavy lifting myself. No, I have used my professional networking skills to call a group of ragtag guest hosts to share the load this week. So with that in mind, enjoy a hodgepodge of people, places, and topics for this week's episode. And make sure to tune back in next week when Danny returns and lets us know how we did. But remember, this is the Quit Chasin podcast show. We are a little cheeky, a little irreverent, and always unqualified. And with that in mind, to help me break down the week that was, welcome to the stage, Mr. Gavin Kubica. Gavin, welcome to the show.
Hello, good to be back. Good to be back.
You know, so to those who may or may not remember, the last time we had Gavin on was Quit Chasin Jr. last year with his brother, our Jake Cave correspondent, Carter Vance. So, Gavin, super happy to have you back here. What have you been up to this last year since we checked in?
Well, it definitely hasn't been a year, I don't think, but
all right, so like the last 6 months, whatever.
I've been in college. I've been doing a lot of college things like schoolwork and going to classes.
That is not what we called college things in college, but okay, love that for you. What school do you go to?
I go to Penn State Harrisburg.
Oh, nepotism, another Penn Stater in the fam. What is your major?
So I am majoring in accounting, and then once I'm done with my major in accounting, I want to go for a master's in business administration.
And what would you do with a business administration degree?
I want to be a managerial accountant.
A managerial accountant. So you account for managers. What does that even mean? I have a psych degree, so teach me things.
I mean, it doesn't mean totally that I account for managers. It means like, I think the biggest example I can give is accountants for investment bankers. That's like the biggest job with it.
Okay, so you would be the accountant for a Merrill Lynch, a Morgan Stanley, one of those cats.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Yeah.
That's almost interesting, but not quite there. So instead, folks, we're just going to hop right into the week that was. Now, the last time that we checked in with you, we had just finished the Colorado series. Things were high, but we knew that the Dodgers were coming to town, and the Dodgers are the reigning champs. They are a force to be reckoned with. Let's see what happens. Oh, snap. The first game, LA Dodgers 2, Philadelphia 3. As Danny Gerb likes to remind me, never ever count out a former Marlins pitcher. Jesus Luzardo put on the finest performance a Friday Night Thunder Guns jersey has ever seen. Not only that, but JT seemed to be throwing every base runner out, including Shohei the Money Ohtani, and the final out of the game. Gavin, what'd you think of that first series win by the Phils?
I mean, I tell people all the time, JT Realmuto is the best catcher in baseball, in my opinion.
Or at
least defensively. I mean,
I'd agree.
There's an argument for hitting sometimes. But even on the base paths, he's quick. When it comes defensively, he's got one of the best arms, if not the best. Doesn't let anything by him. I mean,
that's
around.
Bullshit. He let so many pass balls the last 2 years get by him. I'm going to call you. I agree with the love for JT. I'm here for the love for JT, but I'm going to call bullshit on the no pass balls theory. But continue.
Anyways, so I know it's like a little bit of a hot take when I say that JT Realmuto is the best catcher in baseball, and my roommate that I live with, he would disagree with the statement that I say he's the best catcher in baseball because he's from Washington, so he's a Mariners fan, and he believes that Cal Raleigh is by far the best catcher in baseball. I don't know that one.
So when has anyone cared about the Marlins without Ichiro or Ken Griffey Jr. on the team? So tell him he's in Central Pennsylvania, suit up, because that shit ain't gonna fly here.
Exactly, and I've tried telling him before, but he sticks strong with the Mariners. I don't know.
West Coasters, man, you can't do anything about it. He lives in a rainy climate. He doesn't know how to find fun and find joy. But So do the Phils sometimes run into those opportunities of too many clouds. In the second game, LA Dodgers 3, Philadelphia 1. Well, the longest win streak to beat for the year is set at 4 as Nola's Nola and the Dodgers win what can only be described as, honest to God, a traditional baseball game. Gavin, any thoughts on this one? Anything to add? It was just baseball, right?
I have something to share for this one. So
I can't wait. Get into it.
I watched this from my dorm room on my projector. And so when I use my streaming services, I can't totally watch all the baseball games in Pennsylvania because of Comcast, and it's not letting me use these certain like channels on not being on my home Wi-Fi. So I use Stream East, if you guys know what that is. And I got stuck with the Dodgers announcers instead of Crucky and T-Mac.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough one.
I know, what an atrocity. But one interesting thing that they did announce was that Max Muncy was 1-21 against Aaron Nola. And when I heard this, I was like, wow. I was like excited. Until Aaron Nola did what Aaron Nola does best. And
served up a
he went
meatball.
3 for 3 against Aaron Nola that day. Gave up home runs. And while I wasn't surprised, I was a little disappointed by the way the game had finished with no fight left in their bones.
It was an interesting game. Again, it was a Saturday. I want to say that was like was that a night game or was that a 4 o'clock?
No, it was like noon. It was noon.
Okay, that was an early ass Saturday afternoon game. I will agree with you. I did not see a whole lot of fight. But I don't know. I guess when you have a 162 season, sometimes you're going to have these games. Like, sucks to be Nola if that's the case, and that's what he's going to hit with. But no, I think that's a fair point. They got down kind of like enough, and they were like, all right, let's get to tomorrow. But you know what? Tomorrow wasn't so bad because LA Dodgers 7, Philadelphia 8. Baby, was this ever a weird one. So Chris Sanchez did not look fully sharp, and the weather certainly derailed both starting pitchers as Tyler Glasnow, a pitcher I actually like, loaded up the bases so that Nick, first pitch grand slam Castellanos could do his thing. Holy hell. This was a game that, we went down and then Casty blasted a Castellanos grand slam. So we went up, we gave back the lead, and it was a classic back and forth. And I would have to say, even though it was a Sunday afternoon game, the level of baseball played in these 3 games, I liked it, man. This was good baseball to watch. What'd you think?
I mean, as you know, I'm just as big of a Castellanos fan as you are, if not maybe a bigger fan. I don't know.
You're not, but that's cute.
He's the man. And I think this year could be the year that we see his best performance. And maybe he will quit chasing. I don't know.
The team on a whole has done some great shit as far. Now, I said it to Chris earlier in the night, so the fans are going to listen to it later in the show. Weird show, I told you guys. But I need more of a sample size. I need to see more of this to say that this is where we're at, because the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And the Lord is Casty. So Casty giveth and Casty giveth away. And you never know at what point it's going to be which version of him.
I mean, yeah. And I was just overall so happy that we won the series and that we beat the so-called best team in baseball, or even just the NL. I don't know. They call them the best team in baseball, but I completely disagree.
They're the most expensive team in baseball, I imagine. And even if they're not, fuck off, they are. But here's the thing. Honestly, dude, the NL is fierce as shit this year. The Padres are not going anywhere. The Dodgers are not going anywhere. The Mets are not going anywhere. You got us, the Phils. The Nationals have a weird level of scrappiness. No one ever knows what's going to happen in the NL Central. I mean, at any given, they are that kamikaze wild card of is it going to be the Cubs, the Brewers, the Pirates? Who's it going to be that comes out of there and loses in the first round of the playoffs? You love to find out who it's going to be. The Giants, are they going to have one of those stupid San Francisco Giant dumb years? I don't know. So that's a great point. And speaking of NL hierarchy, that takes us to the next series in which we go down to Hotlanta in game 1, Philadelphia 5, Atlanta 7. God, I hate watching games at Truist Park. I just do. The Phils bats tried really hard to keep the Phillies in the game, but Atlanta's bats had more fight in them. Neither Cy Youngable pitcher had their best stuff. Rojas has immediately evaporated all the goodwill he built by not doing boneheaded crap, and Bohm is still acting like a petulant toddler. All in all, I'm siding with friend of the show, Jack Fritz, when he hopes they didn't just wake up Atlanta's, to this point, dormant bats. Gavin, what did you think of the first game of the Atlanta series?
I mean, I would have to wholeheartedly agree with you when it comes to watching games at Truist Park. It's just no fun in general.
It's how you kill a vibe. It is an energy-sucking vampire. Truist Park is, oh my God, it's like a deadbeat dad. I hate it.
Oh, it's atrocious. I was disappointed about this game for a couple of reasons, especially with that little miscommunication in the outfield on that one fly ball.
I mean, so we can all agree that Johan Rojas, someone that has played over 100 games in the outfield, was the one that needed to take charge so that Edmundo Sosa, the person making his, first career start in the outfield, knew what was going on. Like it was an asinine play. It was a bullshit play. Ugh, it was so frustrating.
But I mean, at that, with Edmundo Sosa that being his first game, he made an amazing over the wall grab.
That shit was nasty, man. Like I loved him. He robbed a home run in his first outfield play as a starter. I love this son of a bitch so much. He's so hot. What? You'll understand later when you see the show. Trust me. Again, this is the last segment I'm recording for the episode, but the first segment people are seeing. So it's very meta what I know and what you and the listeners do not know yet.
Interesting. Okay.
It's been a long week, man.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got through game 1. We did the thing. And then we get to game 2, and an unlikely hero emerges because Philadelphia 4, Atlanta 3. Now, with a win probability meter that eerily reflects the Dow Jones this week, the Phillies ended up victorious in a topsy-turvy game that saw Taijuan Walker dueling like he's Innie Dillon saying F you to Mr. Milchick in every Severance finale. Harper Young went yard. Turner won the game with a bomb of his own. And dare I say it, this looks like one of those, I don't know, grown-up professional baseball teams. They lace them up, go out there and play their ass off, shower after the game, and come back to do it again tomorrow. This was a professional baseball win. What did you think, Gavo?
I mean, before anything, I just want to start by appreciating the Severance nod. And if any of you viewers have not watched it, you need to.
Danny won't watch it because he doesn't believe in giving Tim Cook or the Apple Corporation any additional dollars. But Severance is Tits McGee amazing.
Absolutely. But anyways, this game was an absolute heartstopper. It was very back and forth, as this series normally is. But going back to our Quit Chasin Jr. episode, this is just another reason why I believe that the newer age Philly fans can't stand the Braves compared to the other NL East teams, because it just seems like they won't die.
Yep, and they don't die. And you have to worry about them for all 27 outs. And you see bullshit like Orlando Arcia, attaboy Arcia, bat flipping a walk when he's hitting 2 for 15. And he bat flips and he tries to pimp a walk. Are you kidding me? Is this really what's happening right now? I was so infuriated. Honestly, I think that happened in the game before, and I don't remember. But whatever, like, you're right. There's just something about, like, the Braves as an organization, when you think of them, it's just a line of punchable faces. All of them, from Matt Olson to Ozzie Albies to all, every single one of them has that shit-eating grin face you just want to smack. Except for Spencer Strider. I love him. He's amazing. And that's going to bring us to today's game. Gavo, right now, it is the 7th inning. You and I are recording early because the game is in a rain delay. It's 1-1, and anything can happen. Spencer Schwellenbach did his thing. Jesus Luzardo did his thing. It's been a great baseball game. Dude, Schwarber, here's what worries me. June Schwarber is a mythical creature of epic proportions.
Correct.
Are we just going to spread June Schwarber out throughout the entire year, or is there another plateau this guy could go in a couple of weeks? Like, is that actually some shit that's like, could Kyle Schwarber, I don't think, like, could he hit 50? I don't know. But the cool thing is he's being productive as of now, no matter where in the lineup he's hitting. And that's extremely important for a guy like him. Knowing we can lead off with him or we can clean up with him makes him so valuable. And I think a lot of folks don't appreciate what a Schwarber type of baseball player can do for a DH position and for a plug and play batting order spot. Like, he is just, I need him to die in Phillies pinstripes. I think I've said this on 3 other people's interviews, but like, I need Schwarber to be a Philly for the rest of his life because he is everything I adore about this organization.
He is a Philly guy. I mean, just everything that embodies Philly, he has. Yeah.
I love him. I love him to pieces. But all right, Gavo, thank you so much for stopping in. We did it. We recapped the week that was. Folks, I don't know what the final score of this game is going to be. By the time you wake up, maybe you'll know, or maybe it'll be, I don't know, delayed for the next time we play. Who the hell knows? But we will recap it next week if there is anything worth saying. Gavin, thank you so much for coming in. Anything you want to say before I kick you off the screen?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, well, that was almost interesting. I swear to God. Thank you so much for coming in, Gavin. Good luck with you in the finals and all that stuff in your higher education existence. And I don't know, maybe I'll see you at Easter. Maybe I won't. Who knows? I'm mercurial like that. So thanks for coming out, brother.
Yep.
All righty, folks. Thank you so much, Gavin John and Gavin Kubicka, the same guy, really, for coming out. Now it's time for you to hop into the world of game time with me and my special lady. Chase Nation, as you know, Danny and I have always had an affinity for different games to play on the show. But since the boy is away, the gals will play. That's right, I have with me my true partner in crime, my life queen, the Schwarber to my Harper, the Chooch to my Lidge, the Phila to my Delphia, Miss Kara Zimmerman. Kara, Muffy Bean, say hi to the crowd.
Hi, crowd.
You know, it's funny, you told me before we started this not to say to you, say hi to the crowd, and I did anyways.
I know. And I did hi, crowd anyway.
You know what? I'm proud of you. Way to stick to the script. Way to
Thank
stick to
you.
the script. Folks, we are going to play a rousing game of hot or not with the Philadelphia Phillies players. 14 players, 2 choices, hot or not. As the great Kevin Malone once opined, this is not would you do her, Jim? This is hot or not. So with that in mind, let's play. First up, we have shortstop, the guy that infuriates Danny and me, Kara, Trey Turner, hot or not? Oh, would you go with? You went with not. I went with not, folks.
Definitely not.
Definitely. Now, why don't you think Trey's hot?
He just has that look to him, just his eyes. Like, he just looks like a little fella.
So can I tell you a funny story?
Hmm.
So Trey's middle name is Vance, which makes him like Trey D. Vance Turner,
yeah.
and he does have a bit of that Vance look to him. So all right, fair enough, fair enough. Next up, though, we've got him, our captain, my captain, Bryce, the showman, Harper. Talk.
This is complicated.
Why is it complicated, baby?
Because this picture, like, yeah, for sure, that's hot.
There's some yumminess going on.
And the way he stands at the home plate.
Yep, that's a good job.
The way he, gears up, like he's really locked in.
You like the pageantry he brings to the plate discipline.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this moment, sure, I would go with that's hot.
That is hot. But
just
I'm hearing a but.
I'm just not happy with his following on Instagram. That I really just don't think I can say that's hot. I really think I have to go with not.
So, okay. So then let me ask you, because we didn't get into this, and this is something that when I was on Ben Beck's show and stuff, we will really discuss this, but what is hot for you? Like, I'm pretty sure to an extent, you see this is hot. Okay. Who's your like celebrity crush? Like who would you see hot outside of the Phillies organization? Just what is your barometer for hot?
Andrew Lincoln.
As Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. That's right. The father of Carl. Rick Grimes, Andrew Lincoln also played a crazy stalker in Love Actually, but we'll talk about that here. Okay, so that's interesting. Bryce Harper, you know what? This is not would I want to hang out with him at a dinner party. This is he hot or not?
Okay.
Bryce Harper, man, he's hot. He's hot. You gotta go hot. Let's go hot. All right. Regretfully. Let's see. Who do we got up next? Number 3. Oh, okay. We've got Alec Bohm. Now, Alec Bohm, is that someone that you would see as hot or not?
I'm ready to respond.
Oh, wow. That's real quick. Me too. I'm very ready. All right. 3, 2, 1. Not
hot.
So what is it about Alec Bohm that turns you off?
Everything.
Damn. Okay. So it's the fact that he's like 6'7".
But I feel bad, actually. I do feel bad because is he the guy that went all private on Instagram? Because, poor guy. You're hot in your own way. But I'm going with not. So, it's just not doing it.
So to the crowd, Kara is a Phillies fan, but she's a Phillies fan in the sense of like, not my level, but if it's on, she's going to root. She knows what's going on. She understands situational baseball, etc. Historical and current history, maybe not. So Alec Bohm has had a weird history with Philadelphia in that, like his rookie year or whatever, he was having a real tough day, had a bunch of errors, and he got caught on a hot mic saying, I fucking hate this place because the crowd was booing the hell out of him. Of course, Philadelphia made it, had a field day with it because you can't have that level of thin skin. So he came back from it, yada, yada. He's had a few seasons, but the number one issue with Alec Bohm is his temperament, his temper tantrums, his like wah, and attitude. And you're not one for baby bitches. I'll give you that.
No. And just this picture,
it's. I really did try to find a picture of him.
Wait, are you saying you
rigged
this?
No. Here's the thing. That is one of the more attractive pictures I can find of him.
I did my own research,
right?
And I did have him as not.
Because he has so many bad faces so many times that it's kind of hard. It's hard. Number 4. I'm just gonna throw him up on the screen. Kyle Schwarber. What do you think?
No, but
if
there was another option, it would be adorable. Like if it adorable or not, adorable for sure.
Okay, so
cutie
he's
pie,
not hot, but he is a cutie pie. He is that teddy bear. So if this were F, marry, kill, he's married. He's married every time.
Sure.
Is there any more marryable character on the Philadelphia Phillies than Kyle Schwarber?
I mean,
no. That's the correct answer. So I hope that's where you landed. But like, It's you remember in Hamilton in the second half when people were talking about Alexander Graham Burr and the one guy's like, I feel like you could grab a beer with him. That's Kyle Schwarber, man. And I just want to sip coffee watching a sunset with him. Is he the hottest? No. But do I believe he'll take care of me as we get older? Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. I'm really happy we're on the same page with that. So he's not hot, but
yeah, we all know.
Sure drips a lot. Like here's the
thing. On the team, like the crowd doesn't know who I'm talking
No, they know who they are because you got to think I'll be putting this on the screen when.
Yeah, but for listeners.
Oh shoot! Oh my gosh! You're so right. Thank you.
Over?
No, we're fine. We're great.
Are you gonna edit some?
I'm not. Nope. This is going in the show, folks. No, we're up to our number. No, I love your laugh, and it's one of the reasons I fell in love with you, folks.
Lauren, don't.
Oh God! Oh, he loves me in public. I hate that. It's so embarrassing, guys. We were talking about our number 5 hitter, Nick. Castellanos. I mean, if you look up hot in the dictionary, it's him. First off, he's hot. He's sexy. Yeah. I do him? Yes. Like
I wouldn't go this far, this deep. I mean, just a real quick. Yeah, that's hot. I mean, I'm not saying like, oh my God, I can't with this guy.
No, like, I'm not saying he's peak Zac Efron, but like he's great.
Right.
Oh, Zac Efron is cute. Have you seen him without his shirt on recently? It is insane. All right. So Nick Castellanos, the most obvious hot in the universe. This is an interesting one, and I'm really excited to see what you have to say. So, folks, you see him on the screen. It's JT Real Muto Kara. On the count of 3, let's reveal what we have to say. 1, 2, 3, reveal it. That is hot, dude. Best catcher in baseball. What?
Yeah, best catcher. That's a great.
You know what? Any man that's willing to be a catcher instead of a pitcher, it's already good in my book.
I don't know what that means.
I know. So JT has a very rugged, all-American, all-shucksness about him, doesn't he? And go ahead.
Well, that's great. I love that. Him and his wife do a lot of charity work.
They do.
And I appreciate that. So that makes him hot. Charity work is hot.
Oh man, folks, I work in a nonprofit, so just finding I just found this out. Thank God this is my career path because I'm not good at much else, so at least it makes me a little more attractive. Thank you, darling. Yeah. All right. JT Real Muto, he's hot. Here's an interesting one that I don't think you have much familiarity with, but Phillies Nation does. It's Edmundo Sosa. So when you look at that picture, when you see that guy, you're going to go with 1, 2, 3.
If I look at this picture.
Okay. Be real with me.
Well, on my list, I did have hot. And then this photo.
This photo maybe isn't like, this is sexy, but is it hot? I don't know. I think that's a confident dude. That's a confident man that like clearly just did something impressive. So impressive. His helmet flew off. And he loves Philadelphia so much. He's saying Phillies, hot, all day hot. Edmundo Sosa, without question. All right. Oh, now that's fascinating. So, guys, we are up to Bryson Stott, and as you heard, probably Kara's initial reaction, it was ooh. So, on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Kara said not hot. Alex said hot. What don't you find attractive about Bryson? Well, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to change my mind. He's not hot. He is adorable or grungy, but he's not hot.
Again, I keep referencing my list here, and then I'm changing in this moment. I did have him for hot, but maybe I was just trying to be what's the word?
Stereotypical. Oh wow! Oh damn, that's harsh. Now let me ask you a question. Look at this picture. Does he not look like a tinier version of Dax Shepard?
For sure.
Is Dax Shepard hot?
Yes.
So wouldn't Bryson Stott, by the transitive property, be hot?
Sure. I mean, this is all
subjective.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, hot or not is subjective. You know what, folks? That's the thing. We're talking about these Phillies individuals, and we're having fun.
We're judging books by their cover.
Yes.
Let's not do that.
They're all great people, and you know what? They're going to go home tonight with a lot more money in their bank account than us, and a lot more they're going to be fine. So we're having fun here. In case anyone wants to be offended, we're not. Next up, we got Brandon Marsh. Now, I wanted to give you both the bearded picture and the unbearded picture because it's a fascinating juxtaposition.
That's when I made that face because I definitely prefer the beard. Although
really, it's too scraggly.
It's too long.
It is,
of course.
It is, but
it's better than no beard at all.
Okay. So Brandon Marsh, 1, 2, 3, hot or not? Hot. Wait, would you say not? You're going not. Okay. Is it because he looks dirty?
Definitely.
That's a tough break. Do you know why he wets his hair?
Yeah. So does he in this week.
I'll allow. Yes, that is actually the exact reason. So of course I'll allow because that's the fact.
Which is
Now,
fine. You could also do a bun or something, like a low pony. I mean, you have the long hair.
you know what? I
But
don't
do
hate that
you?
answer.
I mean, whatever he wants to do.
I respect it. Now, let me ask you a question. Looking at his unbearded self, do you know what television character he reminds me of so much? And it's some a show that
Yes,
we've
I know. That's what?
no.
Okay, fine.
Kevin from Shameless. That is Van from Reba,
A
man.
little bit.
100%, dude.
Okay, doesn't he look like Dexter though? Now that I say that?
Maybe a little bit. He's got some Dexter in him. I can respect that. Who we got up next? Next up, this is the new guy that you probably haven't seen much of. Max Kepler. What do you think?
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know his name.
So I'm looking at him, and I don't have a lot of familiarity with him either. So 3, 2, 1. You're going with hot. I'm going with hot, man. He's got like, I don't know. So first
But I
off,
haven't seen him play.
you haven't.
So.
And if you were to see his entire like full body, he's hot.
No,
Like,
I did look up photos, and
he
I did
is.
make that choice.
For sure.
Earlier
For
today.
sure. All American dude. Now, I don't know what kind of relationship he's going to have with Philly or Philly's going to have with him, but easy on the eyes, really nice blue eyes. Like, I don't mind looking at Max Kepler. Next up, we've got the most important person on this list, Kara Zimmerman, the last person on this list, hot or not, the Philadelphia Fanatic. 3, 2, 1. Obviously, we need to divorce. So I'm saying the Fanatic is hot. You're
like
saying not hot.
I'm not
You know
comfortable
what?
saying the Fanatic is hot. That's weird.
That is an interesting high road position to take. And while I understand it and I respect it, I feel like the Fanatic always wins. So this is a game of hot.
The Fanatic is cute and funny and silly
And
so
wholesome.
Maybe...
You know what? He is hot. He's again, you know he would. But then again, if we didn't say that Schwarber was hot, we could put the Fanatic in the same category as Schwarber.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Fanatic, you're going not hot. I'm gonna stick with hot. I don't care if he's a bird from the Galapagos, man. Hot. Every time I see him, I get excited. Karen, baby, we did it.
We did it. You did when I asked for the list. You did say Aaron Nola.
Oh my gosh!
As a bonus,
Aaron Nola, hot or not?
Hot. A little bit.
Yeah, Aaron Nola. He's an interesting type of like trailer park hot in that like he's got the closely trimmed beard. He's got the long hair, the long curly hair. But like, I feel sometimes that if he wasn't playing baseball, he'd be on meth. I feel pretty confident saying that. So, Aaron Nola, hot or not? Kara's going hot. I'll go hot. I'll go hot. Any dude that can spend this much time in Philadelphia and still survive, he's got a little bit of swag to him. So, Aaron Nola, hot. Folks, I have always wanted Kara to be on one of these shows. I've talked about her ad nauseum. I'm so happy she was on. Kara, anything you want to say to the crowd before we peace out?
I don't think so.
So close. So close to being interesting, folks. All right, guys. That's it for game time. You know what time it is now, Kara. It's time for us to hear from Arthur Deedle. Let's go to an ad break. You love Arthur.
Hello there, folks. This is Arthur Deedle. You might remember me from previous episodes such as the 999 Challenge. Well, I come to you tonight on this special episode of Quit Chasin with a new deal intact. Have you ever thought to yourself while walking down the street, I wish I had some of that Quit Chasin merchandise around my neck? Well, now you have that chance. Hop on to the Fourth Wall merchandise site that is linked up in wherever you're consuming this podcast and check out all the offerings from the Unicorn Heavy Metal Tee to the Quit Chasin logo mouse pad. And while you're on the interwebs, check us out on social media between Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, social media, and YouTube. If you want to interact with the boys, that's how you're going to want to do it. And if not, you can always send them an email at quitchasinpodcast@gmail.com. Maybe they'll actually check them every now and then. And last but not least, if you have the opportunity, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, check out Quit Chasin After Dark, where Danny and Alex break down and talk about, honestly, whatever the hell they want. Hope you've enjoyed, and let's get back into Quit Chasin proper. All righty, Chasers, welcome back. It is time for one of our favorite bits with one of our newest friends. That's right, it is Media Stables. We have Keith coming to us from the Broken Bell Network. Keith, say hi to the folks. Tell them where they know you from.
First of all, good, kind sir, thank you very much for having me on. Honored as I should be. From the Broken Bell Network, you said it. We're just a bunch of dads, kind of like you, man. Having fun with this and just playing around, meeting a lot of really cool people that are. It's nice. You kind of sift through who should really be a fan and who should not be a fan, and you get to really meet because they're trying to find better content out there. So I think you and I are both fortunate to have a lot of common like members and subscribers.
I think so. And Danny and I have always kind of positioned ourselves as like that street team view of Phillies fandom. I see you guys as very much the same. Like, again, sitting down at the bar, having a conversation with your friends. That's what it's like listening to these types of shows. And I think there's always a good, fun, chill hangout pod avenue for everybody to be in. So yeah, man, I love it. It's the best.
Yeah, I've always laughed at it. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, you went on that guy's pod?" Yeah, there's enough clicks to go around. They're unlimited.
For sure.
You can just anything you want. It's there.
And share alike. There's no reason to limit yourself to just your own network or any of that noise. Like if people want to talk, have them talk. Whatever. This is a world friendly stage. Damn it.
You and Danny thinking about really talking and doing some call-ins?
No, absolutely not. No way. I would never want to do a call in to save my life. We do one live show a year, the 999 challenge, and that is already too much for my nerves. The funny thing is, and we've talked about this on the show before, for the most part, we're not editing anything out anyways, but for some reason, when I know it's a live show versus when I know I can edit something, there's a different level of performance. There's too many nerves when I know that this is all I have. And once it's in, it's cooked, it's done, it's baked. So no, I would never think of a call-in show. What I would do is a voicemail show. So if you have a comment, thought, concern, leave us a voicemail, send it to our Gmail. We'll play it over the air. We'll respond to your comment if it's funny or if we want to talk about it. That I would totally be down with.
Middle ground, right? You're trying to balance, like
finding a way to encourage engagement without having to put myself in that live atmosphere. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You know what? I like it. It works. But Keith, I'm so excited to have you on and to have you as a part of Media Stables because you came in firing, ready to go, and you have a really, really funny take and a hot take. And I want you to play the video that comes with it. This was found on Instagram. I'm sure there's credits somewhere in that wording.
There we go, right here, 95 XTU and 3 others, I believe. So if this is it says it's Nicole's material. I do know that this is Tyrone Johnson from 97.5 Fanatic. So here we go. This is a take I would love for you to kind of comment on that I brought to you to the table.
All right.
Motto, chicken or egg, right?
All right.
So I'm just saying, this came to you one day, and this conspiracy is I felt in my bones. And I truly believe that until Bryce Harper does charity work and he does community outreach for Philadelphia, the Phillies are never going to win a World Series.
So
you love the city in those months, the way that you get in your tattoo with the Fanatic.
Got the Fanatic tattoo.
Then why wouldn't you want to help better people who champion you in this town? And listen, you gave me great advice. You said, he brings people a lot of joy.
He does bring people a lot of joy. I love watching his at-bats.
And that is great. And this goes back to expectations. My expectation for the face of a franchise who claims he loves this town all from March until October. He claims he loves us.
Yeah.
Does he love us from October till April? Fit to be tied. We don't know. Tomato.
All right.
My God. Yes. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Do you want to go first? Why don't you? This is your item. So what's your immediate reaction? What's your thoughts? How did you react to it? Why did you want to talk about it today?
I'm going to be fair to Tyrone. I don't really listen to his show. It's actually what turned me off of listening to 97.5 to some degree in my own capacity. But that's neither here nor there. They did a hard edit. I'm gonna recognize that. And I do think if you listen to his tone, it was definitely a pandering tone. Did you pick that one up?
You mean his was kind of like okay. Like he wasn't exactly sold, but he wasn't gonna outright disagree on air.
Well, let's put it this way. The only thing he was yupping was verifiable facts. He got the tattoo. Yup. Yes, he did.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
His bats are exciting. Yeah, they are.
Sure are. Okay.
So I think that was like there's an edit out there where I think he possibly chops her up. I do.
Okay.
This is not a knock. This is Nicole. I was looking at the things that great teams World Series had over. Let's go with StatCast era because I don't want to muddy the situation here. That's not cool.
Okay.
Like I don't want to. There's too many variables. Let's talk about Ty Cobb. No, let's not do that. Okay. Let's go to the modern era. I'm not even going to list them. There's about like 7 core components that you actually need for a World Series team. If you want me to read them, if you want to talk to me, we can write a book. I won't share that. However, I don't see. That's right. I don't see Nicole's expectations on them.
So here's fun fact. I know nothing about Philly-based media. So who are these people?
I'm almost assuming she is a country DJ host.
Okay.
92.5 country station.
Sure.
Her and the guy from the 97.5 station are doing a podcast. This is them putting. This is them. I think it's called Coworkers, the podcast, and maybe they work in the same building because if they're at the
maybe they have the same parent. Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just may have made that up, but it sounded really convincing.
I like it. Yeah, no, we're a little cheeky. We're a little irreverent. You're fine.
Okay.
So I got it's the silliest argument I think I've ever heard. I am someone that loves to find ways to just talk about why a team isn't going to win, but philanthropy is not that is apples and oranges. That is not an accurate argument that should be used to explain a team's ability to win a World Series. That is a completely different subject. And I also think, what good is forced philanthropy? That's a little bit silly. Like, everyone could use the money, could do the help, but you really want people to want to do it. If people feel like they have to do it, then it's not as powerful. So I'm very much against her entire take. I thought it was the silliest thing ever, but it's 2025. That's what gets you talked about. That's what gets you talked about. I mean, here we are doing just that.
That's yes, and I knew that.
Yes, and
I knew that though, right? I knew that's going to generate a.
I mean, Danny and I spent like 6 episodes talking Hawk Tua, so don't worry about it. Like, we comment on what's commenting on.
Well, let's be honest. That became a story within itself, and for good reason. There was, maybe an issue, a financial gain that was wild from it, and a movement from whatever. So that I can understand how there's a beyond the podcast type style 6-episode arc of the Hawk Tua girl.
Oh, dude, the HBO miniseries in 5 years is going to be dynamite. It's going to be like any of these other true doc things that come out. It's going to be delightful. Yeah,
I love it.
Yep.
I like the fact. Thank you for bringing up that they're all mutually a World Series, which is a sport and a business and a franchise and a thing that needs to be worked on, is mutually exclusive to charity work. I thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely, yes.
Also kind of ignores his charity work that he actually does do.
So that was my next question. There's no way in hell that the face of the Philadelphia Phillies does not do charity work in the city of Philadelphia. Come on. If he doesn't do any charity work, then someone somewhere needs to be fired from someone's PR team. There's no way he hasn't done a book drive. He hasn't appeared as a Santa something. Get out of here with that nonsense. Like, come on. People just, that's an annoying argument.
Well, it's like one of those. This is like the very definition of an ignorant argument, right? It's like not as a bad take, right? It's not a hot take. I'm not saying it's a hot take. I want to be clear. It's not. It's a bad take with even less information behind. Now, I know most bad takes don't have information or facts behind them.
True.
This is one that's like, hey, Google's your friend. Oh, trying to be my friend.
Oh, Google knew. Google's
knew.
listening, friends.
Google, yeah. I was just, don't do it again.
All righty, Keith. That was delightful. Thank you for bringing that story to my attention. Thank you so much for coming in and hopping on. Any shout outs anytime? Anyone you want to talk about your shows, anything, where can people find you? Tell it to the world, damn it.
All right, let's go for it. YouTube, we are just trying to get our presence on YouTube. We have like a Facebook kind of network of about 70,000 followers, and it's really great. We are trying to do more YouTube content because we do go live on there as well, and we'd like to interact with the followers and the community from there. So we are on Broken Bell Network on YouTube. It is we host the Philly podcast, the Hall of Fame Club podcast, and the Northeast Philly podcast.
Nice. I highly recommend the Hall of Fame Club. If you're a fan of our show, you're going to love their show. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. Same with the Philly and Northeast Philly. Although I am not from Northeast Philly, I appreciate your love of your hometown. Damn it.
Let me tell you something. You got like the vibe for it. So like I can like you could be a ward and we can work your way up and see if we can get you I give you you can be like a squire for now, but I'll get you maybe a lordship one day of the Great Northeast.
Honestly, I'm good with just being the traveler. Like, I am truly central Pennsylvania in that I can fit in Philly and in Pittsburgh. It's the craziest thing. I can go, I know, I don't get it. Yes, but no, I don't own camo. I don't have a hunting lodge. I've driven on ATVs like once. So I'm more of the business office chic of central Pennsylvania, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so I appreciate that. I don't know, man. I just got on a roll, and sometimes I do that when I talk, and welcome to my world.
I love that. Give me that again, the business glam chic of
Here's the thing.
PA?
This is why I never win arguments with my partner, Kara, because I can never remember what just came out of my mouth. So yeah, we'll run it back when we replay it, but it's gone for right now in this exact moment.
I never said it. I don't remember.
Amen. Keith, thank you so much for coming in. It was an absolute pleasure. Folks, go like, subscribe, and follow his show. And if you haven't done it with ours, do ours too. All right, brother. Till next time. All right. Wasn't Keith great, folks? Now, our next guest has been referenced many times, but has never had a chance to chat back. But all of that changes today. She is an avid and dedicated fan of the show, someone I have come to look at as a mother figure. In fact, if you stare long enough, you can understand why people have always assumed we're related. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Colleen Kruger.
Hi, Alex.
Hello, mother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight and trying your best to fill that Danny-sized void. How you feeling? How you feeling jumping on your first podcast?
I'm terribly nervous, but I'm excited because I am a podcast fan in general, not just yours. And this is really exciting. This is my very first podcast. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So you are someone that was into podcasting long before I was, or at least listening to podcasts. As you know, I was pretty anti-podcast up until the pandemic.
Yes.
So what is it about podcasts that you like?
Well, when you spend a lot of time on your own doing solitary tasks for whatever reason, after a while you just get tired of the music. And I enjoy, obviously a lot of us enjoy podcasts that are hosted by celebrities that are about things that are celebrity related or entertainment related. But I also enjoy podcasts that teach me things such as stuff you missed in history class or ologies, which is an examination of science. So I always feel a little bit smarter after I have listened to one of those podcasts. It's a lot like old timey radio. That's how
I think that's a great call. It's like that old talk radio, but instead of being forced to listen to what happens to be on, you get to kind of craft your own catalog and enjoy it your own way. That's a great call.
Yes.
So, mommy
yes.
dearest, I have brought you on tonight for Media Stables, and I've given you about 24 hours to prep yourself for your very first appearance. So, lady, what you got?
Well, I thought you had mentioned things that I'm interested in right now, things that I think other people might be interested in. But that led me down the path to what I consider comfort TV or just comfort watching. It doesn't always have to be television, because right now life is difficult. The world is very divisive. There doesn't seem to be a path down the middle anymore. You must stand on one side or the other. And should you even drift towards the middle, you can be excoriated by those who think you're on their side, or welcomed effusively by those you think are on the other side, when all you're doing is just dipping your toe in the waters of being somewhere down the middle. So for that reason, I think that comfort media is a haven right now for the troubled soul.
I think that's fair. And what is it that you find comfortable? So how do you define a comfort show? Like, what is your definition of that? How does that work for you?
Most times for me, familiarity is the beginning of comfort. Since the streaming began, which I looked it up, Netflix started streaming in 2007. Before that, there was YouTube. But as far as plopping yourself down and just choosing what you want to watch, that started, I think it was 2007. Whatever, doesn't matter. 2007 is a long time ago.
So I might push back on that. I mean, 07.
I think it was 17.
No, 07 would make sense. Netflix was around when I was in college, which was 2009.
But was it streaming?
Oh, you know, it may not have been. On demand through Comcast was an option.
Okay. Between on demand and streaming, I feel that the generation after yours, like your nieces and nephews, have grown up without the comfort of watching the same thing many, many times. When your siblings and your age group was growing up, if you wanted to watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure every single day for a year until your mother told you that the tape broke, even though it hadn't, she'd just thrown it away.
Which I didn't know that until like 2 years ago. That tells you how gullible I am.
So people did that all the time. People, first of all, my generation grew up with reruns, afternoon reruns, morning reruns. When I was a kid growing up, the shows that were on in the daytime in the summer were shows that had been prime time shows, but then had, gotten canceled and now were rerun once a day, 5 days a week. Or in the summertime, you'd rewatch the same thing over and over. But I don't think people do that anymore. Not only the next generation, but I think people in general don't really do that anymore. There are movies that I really, really like that I never watch again. Whereas in the old days, I would have watched it 4 or 5 times by now.
Well, you could also argue that you're using your time more judiciously, and there is so much more content to choose from, which also means in the last 20 years, there's so much content we've missed that we can still hop back into. That it's like, why would I rewatch something? Because I have so many options. Back when there were 3 channels, there wasn't shit. So you're watching what's on, and so is everybody else in America. Hell, even VHSs, created a little bit more of a watch on your schedule, but you still only had so long to watch before you either fill up the VHS or you had to move on to something else. But that created more of a rewatchability. And I don't know, because when I think of the kids, I know that they'll watch the same, like Tay has watched Avatar 100 times. Tay has watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 700 times. So I think we all do find those comfort items, no matter who, what, when, where, to your point. But I think there's just so much more to absorb that it makes sense that we're not rewatching as often.
And it could be that the older you get, the more you realize there's more out there, the more there is available to you. Because when you're a child, your options are limited by what your parents will allow you to watch. And if they find
my
something
cousin Vinny,
they're going to put that on.
Well, there is that.
But as you grow up and you're allowed to make your own choices, then we all enter in the realm of FOMO. We're all afraid of what we're missing out on. We're all afraid of what the latest thing trending is. And we need to jump on that bandwagon. And sometimes we stick with stuff that we're not really enjoying, but just because people are talking about it. And also,
some folks are just completionists. So Danny and I have talked about this. I'm a completionist. Once Upon a Time gets so bad towards the end of the series, but when I'm watching it, like, I got to finish it. So I'm going to watch the whole damn thing. And it's just, some folks are just completionists. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yes. So anyway, so for me, comfort starts with familiarity. So because first of all, I know it's something I'm going to enjoy. And also I know where the story's going. And instead of being boring, it is comforting. So to be honest, a lot of things that I find comforting are children's programming, children's movies, not too many children's shows, except for Avatar. Sure. That's like the only kids series that I will rewatch, though there are some I will watch.
Bluey's pretty damn good, man. Bluey is pretty damn good.
I've actually never watched that.
You should. It's a good time. You'll like it.
But I will watch, like when I'm going to bed at night and I just want to put something on till I fall asleep. I hate to tell you how many times it's going to be a kid's movie, because lots of times that involves music, which I find comforting. And it's bright and usually it's funny, and that's what comforts me. And as far as mainstream stuff is concerned, what comforts me, first of all, is always going to be comedy, but not in your face, raucous, pratfall, mugging the camera comedy, but more character comedy. So for me, that's going to be things like Parks and Recreation or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or 30 Rock or The Big Bang Theory. Those are the things that I find comforting, even if now that we're 10 years down the road for some of those shows, some of the humor that's in them is a little problematic now. I still find quite a bit of it to just be fun. A half an hour of, just a few laughs, and I am relaxed. But I
mean, that's why The Office will never die.
Except that I personally don't like cringe comedy. So
you don't like cringe comedy, which is so, oh man, that is what most of the 2010s was. I mean, It's Always Sunny, that at times 30 Rock was pretty damn cringe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 30 Rock was absurdism.
But I would love, oh man, did you ever watch any Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No. Oh no, I would never like that.
I know you wouldn't, but there's one specific season where Larry David does The Producers with David Schwimmer, and it's an amazing season where that's the whole through line of it. And you would love that one, but it is mostly cringe and just cantankerous men.
Yes. And also on The Office, quite a bit of that humor derives from people playing pranks on each other. And I think pranking isn't funny. That's just me.
That's true. You've never been much of the prankable.
Practical jokes and pranking are not funny to me at all. So that would not comfort me. That actually makes me upset and nervous. Like even when I was a kid, when I Love Lucy was on, when she would get into her things, I would have to look away as a child. I couldn't take it as a kid. I really could not take it.
Even the harebrained schemes were too much for you.
Harebrained schemes where everything goes crazy and she's going to be embarrassed. When the character is going to be embarrassed, I'm embarrassed. Boom. No, period.
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, Mom. Comfort TV. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And one of the reasons that I'm enjoying Parks and Recreation right now is because more than almost any of those other shows, except Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a lot like this. This is it is a workplace comedy, which I usually like more than a family comedy. These people care about each other. They care about their work, and their work is meaningful, which is why Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine resonate. What they do is important. What they do is meaningful, and it is important to them, and they are important to each other. And for the most part, they're nice to each other.
They really are. And even the tiffs are never that bad. I mean, you think about Parks and Rec, there's really not a whole lot of interpersonal conflict. There's situational conflict. There's conflict with the big bad government or population. But as far as the team, other than everyone hating on Jerry, which he had honestly just accepts anyways, like everyone is a team, and it is really not a mean show, and that's so comforting this right now. I mean, thinking of a not mean governmental entity is just amazing.
Right now that's even more comforting. This is a bunch of people who work for the government, and for the most part, they want. I mean, it's a TV show, but especially our main character, Leslie. Leslie takes what she does very, very seriously, but and sometimes she takes herself a little too seriously, but everything else, all the craziness swirls around her. And in fact, I do listen to a podcast about Parks and Recreation, Parks and Recollection, in which Alan Gang, who was one of the writers on the show and later a director, stated that that's the way they started leaning. Like they knew right away that the first season, which nobody should watch because it's garbage, that they realized right away that making Leslie the butt of jokes and everyone looking down on Leslie for wanting to do a good job and being good at her job, that was not the way to go. So not only did they pivot from that, they also pivoted towards all of the conflict coming from the outside and not from within their group.
That's perfect. It is a great show. And for so much more than the network connectivity jokes and Lil Sebastian. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one of the best. And the Mike Shore universe is fantastic.
Yes.
But Mama, you did it. You've been on a podcast. You showed up and you showed out and you brought some A+ content. Nicely done, Lady Bird. Nicely done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. Now, anything you want to say to the crowd before I unceremoniously kick you out of here?
Be kind to one another. Life is rough right now. That's all I have to say.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming out, Mom.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
It has not been easy trying to figure out how to handle these interstitials and transitions between guests. Huge thank you to Keith and Colleen for helping us get through Media Stables. But in a world in which there are new reasons to be amped up every day, especially if Jordan Romano has been pitching, I needed 3 voices to help me get through amped up. First, you know him. You love him. It would be inconceivable to have a guest host show without him. Beaming in from the sunniest side of Florida, let us welcome back the one, the only Chris Ferry to the show.
I'm back again.
We're so excited to have you, Chris. It is always an enjoyable time when you're here. Danny loves you. You are one of his favorite people to hear talk about the Phils. So we're gonna, what's funny? He's in Florida right now. He's going to Miami tomorrow.
I saw the some of the posts he had from Palm Beach and seeing some of the minor league squads. It was a little eye opening. I haven't really made it to that side of the state for many games, but it's something fun that I'm glad he was able to experience over there.
So okay, so on the how best to describe Florida? So like the ball sack, where is Danny in relation to you on the Florida
Danny
map?
So on the left side of said shaft, if we'll call it that.
Yep.
I am kind of just on the little hook that is Tampa Bay. I'm just south of Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Danny is, I would say he's southeast of me slightly. He's about 3 hours east on the eastern seaboard, down in Palm Beach and that whole area. So
is he closer to like the taint then?
More towards the left cheek, I would say.
Okay. So hours wise, like what, like a 2-3 hour distance between you guys?
Yeah, I would say, it's about a 2.5-3 hour drive, just straight across the state.
As they say on the internet, the European mind could not comprehend. But Chris, I wanted to bring you in. I wanted you to kick off a very special edition of Amped Up. So what do you have for Amped Up this week, brother?
So when you asked me to be on, I kind of could have taken it both ways. You asked me whether I wanted to do a Media Stable or Amped Up. I kind of combined it a little bit, but it's going to turn into an Amped Up, as we kind of conclude. It had to do, I read an article, as I'm sure some fans may have seen on ESPN.com that Jesse Rogers wrote. It was called We've Got the Talent, why the Phillies decided to run it back instead of going big in the offseason. So essentially it was just a synopsis of what we did not do during the offseason of free agency and what, all the other teams with money did. And then kind of went into just the mindset of, we only talk about the guy that runs our club, that being Dave Dombrowski, about 3 or 4 times a year. And that's, that's off season. That's free. That's in the free agency period. That's during spring training when he's
trade deadline.
When he's giving his pressers, talking at the trade deadline, and then postseason. Then we just kind of see him randomly on TV every once in a while, and that's it. So, but I mean, let's take him for what he is. He takes really shitty situations with ball clubs and makes them really, really good, and makes them and invests in them and makes them functional again. Whether you're talking about, the Expos way back when he first started his baseball career in the 80s to
Marlins
now. And
he made the Marlins. Like he started that whole dynastic little run. You think about
correct.
They have the same number of World Series as the Phillies, and we've been around for 150 years. They've been around for like 30. So yeah, Dombo's has a great track record. You're absolutely right.
He has a great track record, and you may call it, some may call it, he does the pump and dump on a 5, 10, 15 year cycle, but the team works. The teams win. He invests in the team. I mean, I'm gonna throw some names, and I'm gonna try to do this real quick. These are players that he's either drafted or acquired in his tenure with these teams. So Rondell White, Cliff Floyd, Justin Verlander, Andrew Miller, Curtis Granderson, Magglio Ordonez, Ivan Rodriguez, Max Scherzer, Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, David Price, Chris Sale, a Craig Kimbrell when he was good. And then obviously come to our ball club and, our big five, JT, Trey, Kyle, Nick, and then he got Jose Alvarado and a steal from Tampa, who I would say that's probably one of the top trades I would say that he's made in his tenure with us, along with drafting, all these prospects like Painter and Miller and Crawford and all these guys along the way. So, yes, we haven't come to fruition yet. It's not like he was handed a ball club that had the talent and had, the skill players that was already set up to win a World Series. It's always, take whatever Andy McPhail did before him and, just continue to invest. And while we still give him, shit when we don't win the World Series, I mean, we're still a lot better than we were. We're still consistently talked about as one of the top 3 clubs in the major leagues. And we're still, on the tip of the tongue of, hey, this is one of the top, this is probably one of the top National League teams that are going to contend every single year. So, just get off his back, give him a break. He's done his job. Now it's really just up to the players to do theirs.
All right. So there is a lot that I definitely do agree with you there. He has done what was needed. He spent when he needed to spend in the ways that he spent. He brought in an all-star level shortstop. And when you look at the other 2 all-star shortstops that were available that offseason, you could argue Trey's had some of the most success of those 3. So you can't be upset with that. He signed Aaron Nola when we needed another pitcher and there wasn't any better other pitcher than Aaron Nola. And he got him at a hometown enough discount that it made sense. He's done some good things. I think, and this is the short-sightedness of the fan. Okay. So many of us want that big swing. We need to figure out the bullpen and the outfield. And more than anything else, that's what we need to do. And we all think let's just, send away Crawford, send away Aiden Miller, send away whomever so that we can bring in guys right now. And while that, I do appreciate that the world we're building now is very different from the world we built in 2008. We sold off all of our assets to win now. And we're making moves so that we can win now, but also win for the next 5 to 7 years. So I get the Dumbo appreciation. I do. I'm seeing a different level of the Phillies this year than I have in the years past. Now, I want to know if you feel the same way. I feel like we're finally lunch pail Phillies. They're coming in. They're doing the damn job. They're playing baseball. If they win, great. If they don't, okay. There's always a game tomorrow. They're never out. They're just playing baseball, something we've been begging them to do for 3 years. It's a very small sample size. We're less than 15 games into the season, but they're just playing baseball. So I agree with you. And the argument everyone has been saying is if they just play to their baseball card, we're a world beater. And I agree. It's just, and Jack and James from the iHopes podcast have been talking about this. We need to remember to enjoy the regular season and not think, yeah, but how is that misplayed ball at third going to kill us in October? It's a long ass season, guys. Let's get on for the ride. So I appreciate the optimist living up to his name and saying, let Dumbo do Dumbo. He has a proven track record that he does get it right. Baseball is hard. Only one team can win every year. Settle down. Is that essentially the thesis of what you're saying?
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. And it's also because in that record of, the Red Sox are going to go and they're going to win 2 or 3 World Series during his tenure. The Tigers are going to win 4 divisions in his tenure and get to the World Series for the first time since the 80s. Take a look. We know what's going to happen. That team's, as those contracts start to subside, they're going to tail off. Dumbo is going to move on. And then you start the whole process all over again and build from scratch. However, baseball, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, unless you're in a very, very unique circumstance, i.e. the New England Patriots of the Tom Brady era or the Jordan Bulls or the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, you are not going to have sustained success over the period of 15, 20 years. It's always that 5-10 year cycle of consistency. And then let's take it back to the drawing board and build for that next 5 to 10 year cycle. So, he does a really good job at seeing what is there in the present. But, we keep saying it based on what these contracts could look like in 2027, 2028. If some of these guys don't resign or they go other places, this may be the last chance for this core group, especially at the age that some of them are, that this could be the last chance for them to really contend and be that World Series contender. So,
And I agree with that. And yes, Trey and Bryce are locked up for a long ass time, but we're now at the end of the life of the JT contract, the end of the life of the Schwarber contract. Next year is the end of the life of the Casty contract. Like, we have the opportunity to move on from some pieces. I think they're going to re-sign both JT and Kyle. It would make sense. I think Kyle needs
and also keep in mind, I think Wheeler's contract is up not after next year. He signed a 3-year deal, so he's up at the end of 27. I want to say, correct?
But the prevailing belief that he said when he signed the contract was, I intend for this to be my last contract. I'm good. I don't want to have a noodle arm for the rest of my life. Like, I will have done what I need to do. I will have earned what I need to earn. I'm going to be good at 34 and I'm going to hang up the spikes. So that is one of those, like, you do have a diminishing window for both Aaron and Zach. Like, this pitching staff is remarkable. And the starting pitchers are next level insane. When you think about the five that we have with both Ranger and Painter waiting in the wings, like the Taiwanimous movement is here, and it's good and it's going, and it's not going to last forever. But if it can last until Painter's ready to come up or Ranger's ready to come back, hell yeah. So you're right. We've got a window, and it's probably 2 to 3 more years, but I see no reason why we can't compete. And if they're going to be this workman style team, I will trust the process. And let's see.
I know the name of this podcast is Quit Chasin. Have you looked?
I'm aware we have the lowest chase rate in major leagues, and holla at me when at the end of 162 we are in the top 5. Okay, holla at me when we're more than 10 games in. I love it. It's great, but when these boys have their back against a wall, they press, and when they press, it's hack, hack, hack. And let's see what happens in the dregs of summer when you are playing a scrappy little athletics team and they're just giving you the leather, and you're just like, what the hell? Why am I losing 2 out of 3 in this series? What do they do? Do they chase, or do they still have plate discipline? I
think it still angers me more that I'd rather see them get struck out looking with a really good painted pitch on the outside corner than watching them swing at a pitch that's 5 inches outside of the strike zone.
I will never beat up on them if a pitcher beats them. If they beat themselves, that's on them. But if I'm a pitching guy, I love pitchers. I love the mental game of chess that a pitcher plays with a batter. I think pitchers are just the James Bond of the baseball field. I adore pitching. So if a pitcher fools you, so be it, man. It's his day. But if he fools you in a way that you're chasing and that you just look like a jackass, I'm going to call you out for that. If he just gets you and the umpire awards him, okay, so be it. That's where I stand with it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We'll see what they can do. We'll see how they can manage the rest of this Atlanta series and salvage a series win against a lacking Braves team that should never beat us in game 1. But
you know what? This is a Braves team that is dormant. They are going to wake up. This is a very good baseball team that has had a very shitty start to the season. We are going to taper off as well. Like this. I mean, it's the rubber match. So, Kyle first out. So we'll see what happens. But this is our competition. Let's play good baseball. That's all I want. Play good baseball and come out of here with your heads held high.
I'll tell you what, if you would have said that Aaron Nola was going to pitch 6 innings to give up 3 runs, it's just like you were saying. If the other pitcher beats us, then that is what it is. But normally in an Aaron Nola start where you have that stat line, I would say 80% of the time we're going to come out with a victory. But unfortunately, just bats don't come alive when we need them to. So, and that's the tail of the tape that happened in most of the second half last year. You can only rely on their starting pitching so long.
Chris, the entirety of my experience as a Phillies fan has been there's always one pitcher every year that is devoid of run support. And I keep on trying to anoint who it's going to be this year. Again, small ass sample size. We'll see. But it always happens. Maybe it's going to be Nola. We'll find out.
We'll see.
Chris, thank you so much for joining. This was such a blast. Next up, it appears that we are actually going to be hearing from co-host Danny Gerb, who sent in a surprise recording. So, Chris, anything you want to say before we kick you out of here?
Go Phils.
That's all we need to hear from you, baby. That's what I'm here for. All righty, guys. Well, then, on that note, Danny, tell me, what's got you amped up?
What up, Chase Nation? You know what, Alex? Thank you for asking me, because I'll tell you what's got me amped up. And everyone knows that, Lent Fridays come, and there's a large group of people who abstain from eating meat. Now, I get it. Everyone's not a practicer or a believer or whatever, but a large group of people. Now, I'm not able to join you this week because I'm down here in Florida. Look at the Everglades behind us. Awesome. Very cool. I'm headed Friday's game against the Nationals. It is the Miami Marlins versus the Washington Nationals. It is Italian Heritage Night. It's Friday evening. It's going to be a rough one. 2 division rivals of the Phils. So, come on, right? root for them to both lose. Anyways, check out the ballpark. But everyone knows a part of checking out a ballpark is their dog. Dude, we've done it before. You and I, we've ranked dogs, stadium dogs. And I didn't remember this, but apparently Miami is using Stalin's hot dogs, which is famous up in Buffalo. They're the skinless hot dogs. You roll them. They are a perfect hot dog. And I was so excited to try the Southern Stalin's hot dog. But here I am, you know, being a practicing Christian that I am. So I'm abstaining from meat on Friday. But here's the kicker. The Marlins know this. It's Italian Heritage Night. There's a large group of Italian Americans that are Catholic to some degree. I don't know the numbers, but it's huge. And they should have planned this better because now I can't rank the stadium in its totality because the dogs are a part of it. You know what I'm saying? The dogs are a part of it. It's just awful.
Well, folks, we have one final guest for our Amped Up segment this week. Now, my goal in this week's show is to make an episode that Danny Gerb would love listening to. And sure, there have been some strange microphone issues, and I'm sure he rolled his eyes at the Arthur Deedle part. But this next guest is going to have Danny grinning from ear to ear. This man needs no introduction, but that's just something hosts say right before they're about to introduce someone. So here he is, daytime producer for WIP, host of The Final Out, and one half of the High Hopes podcast team. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jack Fritz, welcome back to the program.
Oh, happy to be here. I miss my other buddy, but it's all good. You're here. It's beautiful. Phil's are back, and life couldn't be better, my friend.
Life couldn't be better. I don't know what it's doing in Philly. It's raining cats and dogs right now, but
nice.
I don't care. Because, again, we were talking about it just a few moments ago. Taiwan-a-sans. It's here. It's happening. Maybe. Yeah. Well, and
Saiwan Walker, some are saying, and the only Philly starter who has not allowed to run yet. It's pretty ridiculous. So,
yeah,
and
that's why you named your firstborn after him. I get it.
Yeah, people made fun of me, but I said, hey, I trust my guy. Yeah,
you knew
always.
Then your second son, you named him Aiden, or I'm just trying to double check.
Maybe the third one. That named after Don Sutton. That's what everyone said.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly right.
All right, Jack. Well, speaking of being a dad, this segment of Amped Up, I thought you'd be the perfect person to talk on it. I know growing up, you were a baseball guy, you had a baseball dad. Now you are a dad with sons. So Amped Up, man, what's it like being a dad of baseball kids? Like, tell me about that.
Well, so the funny part is that so my 2-year-old now, he just is excited to sit down and just watch something. You know what I mean? Sometimes Miss Rachel, sometimes it's the Phils. So, and what's funny is that, you know, when I think he started to first grasp it, it was sort of in the middle of the Eagles run. So now whenever there's a sporting event on, he kind of just goes, E! And I'm like, well, no, not, you know, close. Now he's got a good DP, which is good. That's key to an Eagles chant. But yeah, it's funny because I think he's slowly. I was watching a highlight this morning of I think the Pirates game where they had a collision at home plate and he started laughing. So I was like, wow, you get some home plate collisions. So yeah, we took him to his first game last year. And we'll obviously get down to the ballpark at some point this year. But you know, I think what I'm trying to balance is I don't want to come on too strong and be This is what we do in this house is we watch the Phils and we freak out. But, you know, they always say that if you're passionate about it, your kids will be passionate about it. So, you know, I think that's what we're trying to do. And Sutton has no idea. Sutton is 3 months old. So one day at a time with him, we're working on Walker.
So Sutton has never seen Taiwan Walker allow a run in his entire life.
He is not. He is not. He's lucky to be alive, frankly, on this run that Taiwan is on.
So growing up, you know, I grew up with an Orioles fan for a dad. So
nice.
You could say that. I mean, it was during the Ripken heyday, so at least I had that to enjoy, and we would go down to Camden and stuff, so that was great. So what's one of those core memories that you had with your dad growing up as it relates to the Phillies?
Well, what's funny is that my dad's actually not a huge sports fan. I actually got it from my granddad. So my granddad was the one that really instilled baseball in me, and obviously my dad was supportive, but he's actually not a huge sports fan, which makes my whole thing funny.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, so I think because being an only child, I you know, obviously it was just me, so I'd watch TV and I just gravitated towards sports, and I was like, oh my God, there's Philly teams? I don't know. I forget the origin story, but somehow I turned into this. So, you know, with my granddad, I remember they took me to my first game at the Vet, and they played the Marlins, and I remember I went to the speed pitch, the old school speed pitch. It was like randomly in the middle of the concourse.
Oh, I remember.
It's not like how it is now, where there's like a whole setup of it. And I remember I hit like 45 miles an hour, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And, you know, we go to I actually found this the other day in my old room. You know, my first game ever was a Reading Phillies game in 2001. I mean, I would love to go back and look at the lineup of the 01 Reading Phils. But yeah, it was more my granddad. You know, both my parents worked, so I would hang out with my grandparents a lot. And and he was a huge like Ted Williams guy, and he kind of instilled in me the old baseball kind of core memories that you know of, and it kind of took it from there.
That's amazing. Do you have any one specific memory when you think back to your childhood in baseball that stands out? It could be from playing days or watching.
From my early days of baseball, I don't know, man. Like it was really just watching. I just remember watching SportsCenter. I mean, obviously, there's the early days where, I remember Robert Person's 2 home run game and little things like that. The Millwood no hitter. I remember the when Tommy signed, I was so Tommy'd up. I mean, I would try to emulate his little toe thing when he would hit a home run. And yeah, I would say that early for me it was Tommy and the vet and all that stuff.
That's perfect. So if you have one goal for experiences with you and the boys, and I guess where I'm coming at this is, I was a theater kid growing up, and my kids are on stage now and they like it, but I'm really, really cognizant to not push my for lack of a better term, failed dreams on them and be that stage parent. So have you and Jill already had that conversation of like, I did play. If they want to, they can. If not, whatever. We're like, no, they got to play baseball. It instills the right values, yada, yada. Have you guys had that conversation or anything yet?
Yeah, I think she's definitely worried about me being a little too into it. So, and I've tried to ensure that I'm not going to be, I think the biggest, I'm going to find our generation, more my generation, so funny on how we parent our kids in sports, because I think we were the first ones that had the helicopter parents. Now, after us, I think it's gotten way worse. But at least we were the first ones that I think we dealt with it a little bit. And we don't, at least for my generation, everyone I talk to, we're all like, this is annoying. We don't want to do this. So I think there's going to be a big overcorrection from our generation, hopefully, where you let coaches coach, and if it's not going your way, we're not going to call the coach and freak out on them like, why is my kid not playing? I don't want to do that. And I would like to be the guy that Now, I don't love coaching, just being completely frank. Like I'd rather work with them at home or in our own spare time. But I don't know, like I've had visions of like Saturday mornings, obviously I work a lot, so during the week's tough, but Saturday mornings going to the local field, hitting ground balls, little stuff like that, and kind of making it our thing. And I think that's the way I want to do it. I want to do it like our thing. I don't want to be overbearing about it. I don't want to do the I don't want to be like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and kind of make them hopefully take it and run with it rather than me really forcing it on them. The only sport they're not allowed to play is lacrosse. No interest.
Okay.
I can't
take that, Bill Belichick. You can't have my sons.
Oh, lacrosse is the worst. It's just the worst. So any other sport is fine. Cannot do lacrosse.
That's amazing. That is amazing. No, but I hear what you're saying about the helicopter era and everything. I too am really excited to see kind of what that overcorrection looks like. Like my brother-in-law, he was a pitcher for Penn State, all that good jazz till he shredded his arm. So I was always assuming that his kids would just grow up and play baseball. And they did in their youth. But when they were ready to put the glove down, they faced no opposition. My sister and my brother-in-law talked to them. Like, yeah, man, I'm done with this. So I've always applauded them for being really good in handling that conversation well and all that jazz. So maybe there is hope. And folks, be nice to the umpires. They're not really professionals, okay?
Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to do their best. It's not the big leagues. It's freaking Little League. It's
100%.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Do or die,
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Now, before I let you go, there's one thing I wanted to say. I am an avid reader. I believe in physical print media, and I'm super excited to add a book next to this one on my bookshelf. So This is a great read. I don't know if you've ever read it. So, Jack, what do you got coming out?
Man, so I've been working on this one for a while with my good pal Kevin Reevy, and we're coming out with our own Phil's book. So it's called Ring the Bell, and it's kind of, in my estimation, it's a fun encyclopedia. It's written by two psychos, and I think if you read it, you're gonna say this guy might like the Phillies too much, So we obviously split the chapters up. So Kevin loves like the old school stuff, so he took care of that, and he's a way more whimsical writer than I am. I kind of write how I talk, so my chapters are very much like, here's what happened and here's how I felt, and I thought I was gonna die. It's just so it's fun. I think it's engaging, and my goal is that for the non-sicko diehard Phillies fan, they learn something, and then for even the sickos, they figure out some stuff as well, and they're not just reading stuff that they've already known. So that was kind of the goal with it. So there's pre-orders going on right now. Ringthebellbook.com. That comes with an autographed copy, personalized if you would like it,
Yes.
and free shipping unless you live close to me, and I will be delivering it on my own because to save ourselves some money, and would just ask not to go to Amazon and come to our website, and I think it's going to come out hopefully comes out in June, and hopefully before Father's Day. Hope it would be a great Father's Day gift, of course, and also for your summer reading. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, but I'm really proud of how it turned out. So I appreciate you letting me plug it.
100%, man. Like I said, I am super excited to read it. I'm going to have it shipped to Danny's house. So as long as you're cool with going to Kensington, you've heard of it from the news. We can
no problem.
Some shipping. And I can't wait. Jack, thank you so much for coming back and for being a part of Chase Nation again. Thank you so much.
No, of course, anytime.
Well, friends, that leaves us with just one segment left. And what better way to follow up the magnetic Jack Fritz than to introduce you to the godfather of my children, the man his mother once quipped I shared half a brain with. His household is the only reason I have ever been excited to visit the city of Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Pupo. Matty P, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. What's up, Alex?
Not too much. How about you, bud?
Not much, man. Excited for the Masters starting this week.
Okay, I want to say golf.
Correct. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who you got your money on for this year's Masters? Who's coming in with that gold jacket?
I want Rory to do it. Complete that career Grand Slam. Just get it done.
Okay.
Put on that green jacket.
How impressive is the career Grand Slam? Like, there's the regular Grand Slam, the Tiger Slam, the Serena Slam. Like, where does the career Slam? Is that like it's not hitting for the cycle? It's not throwing is that a no-no? Like, what is that?
I mean, it's essentially golf's version of hitting for the cycle by winning all 4 majors. Because a lot of people have multiple major wins, but they've never won all 4 majors.
Okay. All right. I can like that. And then, so golf and tennis are the only two that have this style of system for like the 4 majors of the year,
Correct.
blah, blah, blah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So who is currently because today's Thursday. So it started today, right?
Yeah, they're just finishing the first round right now. And Englishman Justin Rose was in the lead in the clubhouse. That's 7 under.
Sorry. Okay. All right. You know what? The funny thing is, talking about golf, thinking about golf, reading about golf always bores me. But all those times I went over to your house as a kid and golf was on, it was always fantastic. Like a good Sunday golf match when you have a good slate towards the finish and like they can really cut well. Like it's a good viewing experience, but there's something about the idea of golf that is inherently sleepinizing, which people feel the same way about baseball.
Well, let's not forget what President Bartlett said, that let's not confuse golf with what men do.
And I believe he did piss off the Ryder team when he said that.
He did.
Oh, that Bartlett. That's what he did. But Matthew, I brought you on for a very specific segment this week. I knew that I had to incorporate you into the show because with Danny away, I could bring on my true best friend, which I love Danny. Danny is right. I mean, you, Danny, and Heisey are like the holy trinity of my friendship, or the only 3. I don't know how to equate it, but it is so nice to have you on. But I want to know, Matt, I, for 9 regrettable months of my life, made the sojourn out of the 717, out to the 412, and tried to make a name for myself. You did the same thing at the same time, but here we are 16 years later, and you are still crushing it. So Matthew Paul Pupo, love it or hate it, living in Pittsburgh.
I love it.
Why? How? What? Tell the people of Philadelphia and Central PA why in the hell Pittsburgh is worth living in.
Well, because it has everything that you want in a city. It has the big city feel of the downtown and the skyscrapers. You have the major sports teams with the Steelers, the Penguins, and those guys. But you also have all of those tiny neighborhoods, just like Philly does. All of those little suburbs that you can go into, which each of their towns have their own unique restaurants, or, Bellevue has the cobblestone street still. Always your favorite. How many drive shafts did you need to get replaced in the 9 months you lived in Pittsburgh?
First off, it was not the drive shaft. That's a band from Lost. You all, everybody. It was the tie rod ends on my Dodge Neon. And I definitely lost one tie rod end in Pittsburgh, but that moment somehow led to me moving to Pittsburgh. So it was just a weird set of circumstances. All right. So I can appreciate that it has its own uniqueness. But would you say that because of the community and the world that you have entered into in Pittsburgh, that's what also helps? So is it more you wouldn't leave Pittsburgh now because it's Pittsburgh, or because Pittsburgh is where your heart is? Like, that's where your family is. That's where your friends for the last 16 years have been. That's where your memories have been for the last 16 years. So is it more the place or the nostalgia that keeps you there? I wonder.
Ooh, I think as we're tipping into almost 16 years here, I think it's just become home, man.
Yeah. I've pretty much spent almost half your life there.
Yeah. And, with marrying Jess in September, I think that's going to kind of put the rubber stamp on it there. So,
yeah, I mean, she's Pittsburgh, essentially homegrown, born and bred, right?
Whole thing. Yep.
Yeah. And honestly, like, my dad's from the Baltimore area. My mom's from here. They live here. I've typically learned that in these kind of scenarios, a lot of the people I know, the men have moved to where the women were, and that's where they've set up shop. So I don't know, dude, I miss you, but I look at what you built out there and I love it. Now, me personally, I hated living in Pittsburgh. There were so many things. So first off, I was in a job I should not have been in. I should not have been, as a 22-year-old in charge of the dorms of a almost college. That was not a good fit for me. Thankfully, none of that exists anymore. And I think because the job I entered into when I got out there had so little free time and so little ability for me to engage with people or to interact with folks, like, I couldn't have gotten a part-time job at your restaurant and worked because I had to be on call pretty much all the time.
Right.
So it didn't work for me. I think if the circumstances were a little bit different, if I could have tried in a different way, because I did eventually end up in the restaurant industry, and I could have done that. God, that would have been exhausting. And at 37, my body would be in a lot worse shape than it is now. But I don't know. I could have made Pittsburgh work. I think Pittsburgh's fun. It's not too unsafe or anything. Like, it has its pockets just like everywhere else. But I was there during the season changing. So from spring until the dead of winter is when I was there. So I got to see Pittsburgh in the fall, and there is a very, very peaceful, cute quality, like Squirrel Hill in the fall. Like, that's really it's like a Nora Ephron film. Real nice spot to be. So no, I appreciate Pittsburgh's charm, but I would say that if I had to choose between the two ends of Pennsylvania, I'm going to Philly. Like 100 times out of 100. First off, like, Philly just has a little extra vibe. It's got a basketball team, which I think makes it more real than Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh had a basketball team, would they be taken more seriously? And do you feel like people take Pittsburgh seriously, or they're like, "Oh, Pittsburgh, I see you over there. I remember when you were doing things. It was so cute. Oh, look at them go." It's like you're watching the old man feeding the birds. That's what Pittsburgh is. You're watching an old man feeding the birds at the park, and you're feeling just so happy that he made it to this point and he's so comfortable, but like, you don't expect anything out of him. So that's that's the most ludicrous way I can describe how I view the city of Pittsburgh. Your rebuttal.
That's pretty ludicrous, buddy. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of my friends listening right now that are probably cursing you at the moment for that analogy.
Right, but like, Pittsburgh, what have you done for me lately? Okay, what have you done for me lately, Pittsburgh?
Paul Skeens.
Who? What's he done? What's he actually done? He's shown up and he's thrown some balls, and we're just going to anoint the guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Nope.
What about Sidney Crosby?
Sidney Crosby, he had his moment, man. That was 15 years ago. I love that for him. It's adorable.
He's still breaking records.
Okay, and how relevant are the Pirates right now?
They're not.
Okay, so I love that he's on his retirement tour. I love that he's milking every penny out of every contract he can get. I hope he would as a Canadian. But who cares? And I mean, we're not going to bother talking about the Pirates, but even the Steelers, kind of a joke in the NFL right now. Like, it's a rudderless, directionless franchise. I love Mike Tomlin, but apparently nobody else in the world does. And
did they get Aaron Rodgers yet?
It's not official, but here's the thing. Here's the reason I don't want Aaron Rodgers to suit up for Pittsburgh. He has to complete the Favre cycle, man. Minnesota's right there, dude. Like, he has to go to Minnesota so that he can literally just do the Favre. Like,
that would be pretty wild.
Wouldn't that be insane if he were to have the exact same career as Brett Favre?
Yeah.
One ring, a whole lot of pissed off people. I'm sure he has scammed welfare recipients at some point. It's Aaron Rodgers, folks. But yeah, I don't know how we got onto that subject, but I'm super happy we did. So love it, hate it, living in Pittsburgh. Matt says, love it. I say, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you, but I hated it. So especially with no Redbeards up on Mount Washington, with Redbeards and Mount Washington closing, the place I fell in love with, the Little League World Series. No, I'm good. Once Club Belanda shut down and Keith was no longer singing songs about smoking a J, I was out. I was done. My God. Matty P, you did it, man. You came in.
We did it.
You crushed it. Your first real podcast experience outside of a car. and you nailed it. This was so much fun, buddy. I'm so happy you came on. Thank you so
No,
much.
I appreciate you guys having me. And yeah, I hope Danny can actually, see my face now in the video. So yeah.
Who knows if that's a good thing or not, but yes, I can attest he will be able to see your face this entire time. Now, Matt, I had said this to you, and I might get in trouble from Danny, and I don't care, but I wanted to give you sign-off privileges because I am very adamant that I sign off the After Dark episodes and Danny signs off the regulars, and Danny's not here, and you're in the position at the end of the show. We talked about the sign-off. I would like you to do the sign off. All right, folks, all right. We are going to be back next week with a regular scheduled program. Let's see what Danny thinks about how I did this week. And, it's always fun. Matt, send us home.
All right. This is Matt Pupo wishing you a pleasant evening wherever you may be.